James, for simple people like me, what is testing all about?
So the idea with the testing is we get the lads back after their summer holidays and all their time enjoying themselves, and make sure that they're in good condition physically to start with our training programme, to make sure that they don't pick up anything injury-wise in the early stages, or at least to try and do our best to prevent that. And it also gives us a benchmark and a baseline for where they are in terms of their range of motion in their hips, their flexibility, their strength testing, so that we can identify any deficiencies they may have as well, and then work on those throughout the pre-season period.
This summer has been a fairly short break in comparison to how it in normal seasons, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we finished later as a result of the World Cup, and so the lads have only had 4 weeks or just over off. So most of them have maintained a decent level of fitness over the off-season anyway, which typically now is how the players are. The days of them turning up in bad shape or having overdone it for an 8-week period are largely gone, particularly in the elite level. But yeah, it's certainly a short break, so we're expecting the lads to come back in a reasonable condition, to be honest. So.
Even though they're in a good condition, it's still the same normal pre-season where you're going to build up gradually.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing we want to do is start them too quickly with the double sessions and hard pitch work when they're not ready for it. So it's like anything, if you've had a period of time away from the gym or anything that you normally do, you build up slowly so that you avoid any overuse issues, any sort of undue fatigue. But nonetheless, it's always going to be a tough period for the players.
Is it a pretty standard pre-season? I mean, even the trip to America isn't that long, is it?
No, it's a fairly short trip this year. I think we were away for 8 days. Obviously last year we had 2 weeks away. The travelling and the sort of changing between locations can make it a challenge, and can mean that we have to try and be a bit more creative around how we get our gym-based sessions in and some of the pitch work. But yeah, it's a fairly short period away this summer. So.
You've obviously been involved in football for a long time now, but how much are you and the other guys constantly, do you use the summer to learn about new techniques?
Yeah, I think all of us, a big part of being involved in professional sport at this level is continuing to develop. So all of us are constantly looking at CPD and ongoing learning and reading around things and speaking with colleagues at different clubs and looking at different sports. And I think that's really, for me, as a prerequisite of working at this level of sport.
And finally, we always see you running on the pitch. Are you aware that the cameras are watching you and people might be judging who's the quickest to get to the player that's down injured?
To be honest, this is now my 23rd season in professional football. So in my early days, it was definitely a race between the other physio to get on. But as I've got older, I've realised the longer I leave them to roll around on the floor a little bit, the more likely they are to get up when I get there. So I'm less inclined to race these days. So.
Good ending, thanks.